YouTube, and welcome to, well, I think we'll call this episode 6 of Crippling Cancer. I don't really count really short ones as being an episode. And yes, you may notice something different, that I am on my futon. Now this is going to be a bit personal, but I feel it's important to say a lot of my life is spent here, perhaps more than others. Because of my disability, I often can't leave. I often have to sort of not just budget my time, but budget how much my body can do. So on some days I will be here till quite late in the day. And I'm introducing myself like this because I noticed some respondents from my last videos about the images of disability bit. Some reacted with surprise that I was disabled at all. They hadn't noticed it, which is almost flattering, but still it was also just disturbing because I do appear with a walking stick, though I guess if you were not really paying that much attention because I'm often filming things, not myself, you might not notice that. But since I was making a series called Futon-ingout, I would have assumed that people would have worked out that I'm not just joking around. I really do have a disability, and much of that disability, which is cerebral palsy, means that I get tired very quickly. So if I want to do something, like go to Gion and Kyoto, which I often do, then I really have to decide whether I can do that today, as it were. To make that decision, 3 things are necessary, really. Bearing in mind it's summer and it's about 34 degrees centigrade today. It has to be not too hot, because I get too tired too quickly. My leg has to be in a good state. My leg and back is really the problem. My cerebral palsy causes bad posture. So I may decide that maybe I won't go at around 12 o'clock. From the moment I get up, you see, my body has a clock that ticks down. At some point it will just give way, and it's quite unpredictable. But there is another more important reason other than to really introduce the idea that yes, I really am disabled to you guys, and it's there is a woman in Britain called Liz Crow, and this would explain the title of this video, which will be Futon-out, a homage to Liz Crow. Liz Crow is an artist, and in April of this year she did an art installation called Beddingout, where she for 2 days she was in an art gallery in Salisbury, I believe, and she lay in a bed for 48 hours to protest the welfare cuts made in Britain. Now, I've followed Liz Crow's work with interest as a fellow disabled person, and I thought this was a really cool idea because, as I said, as a disabled person, or at least with a physical disability, you often find a lot of your life is spent from bed. And that bed has a certain connotation. Bed is where we sleep. Bed is where we rest. Bed is where we have sex, perhaps. Not so much if you're disabled. What I'm doing at the moment, when I'm not making videos about it, obviously, this is not so much restful. This is just returning the body to a state where it can possibly become restful, or possibly become active. It's just maintaining a basic state of being that's positive. And what Liz Crow was doing was using that to protest welfare cuts against disabled people. She's going to be in the Edinburgh Festival, I think on August the 9th to August the 10th, so only 24 hours that time. But I'll put a link to a website underneath in the information section on the YouTube video. Please go and check her stuff out, because that's as I said, this is very much homage to Beddingout by Liz Crow and Roaring Girl Productions, August the 9th to 10th at Edinburgh Festival. So go check her out. She's RGP Liz Crow on Twitter. So just keep Googling Beddingout, all one word. Anyway, so I'm going to do some of my proofreading, which is over there, which is mainly what I do in Japan. I proofread. And I work a bit at university. Not today, of course, because it's the end of term. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So cheers. Bye.